Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Couch to Ultramarathon Runner YouTube series, where we're getting off the couch and we're getting onto the fells. I'm Trekking Tweed, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, please subscribe, hit the like button, comment and ring that notification bell for my weekly videos. We got there ladies and gentlemen, 10 weeks. Well done you guys and girls out there that are sticking to your training plans in whatever that may be in your lives. Well done. It's hard times at the moment, so getting to a milestone like 10 weeks is absolutely amazing. Well done. So, it's a special milestone, and with a special milestone, I thought I'd change up the video ever so slightly. Stick around to the end. I'm going to give you my 10 tips after 10 weeks, hopefully saving you the grief and the pain that I went through. So make sure you stick around for that. Without further ado, let's review what we've been up to in week 10. Check it out. We're back to the board. We're in the shed. Not so live, but live. Tuesdays, we got up to some interval training. 3 times 1200 meters. Let's check out that video right now. Okay, so that was Tuesday's video. 3 times 1200 meters. Again, slightly dark. I'm loving the intervals, interval training. It's graft, but you get all your benefits from the interval training. Thursday night, we did a night run, 3.5 miles at 9.13 miles pace. I haven't videoed this one because of the night run, but got in the mail this week a new head torch. Check it out. I will do another video on this and see how it compares to the old 4 candles head torch that I'm using at the moment. So, Saturday, what did we get up to? We needed to do a 6 miler. Let's see what actually happened in the video. 6 miler today. It's going to be a wet one. Okay, so it's getting a little colder in England. It's obviously sleeting a little bit. I was not expecting a bit of sleet halfway up Breedon Hill, but then it came clearer again, as you'd see in the video, and all fun was had. So the legs are getting nicely conditioned for sleet, and my lovely buzz cut having the sleet bouncing off its head there. You got to really embrace the British weather. You got to love what we get on with. So I actually did 7.43 miles at a good pace, just over 10 minutes. And with elevation of over 1,200 foot there. So great run, a little bit further than I really wanted, but I had the legs in me, I had a load of fun. It's what it's all about, embracing the conditions and the route that you want to get involved with. So lastly, I would just like to say I've stumbled across a podcast, which is the Mindset for Fitness podcast, and it is done by Lee Thomas. Great podcast. Check it all out. I'll put the link down below. His first guest, let me just get this right, Alex Staniforth. Check it out. Really good, really inspiring. It has inspired me this week to actually push myself even further and speak to more people and embrace getting your mindset ready for fitness. Excellent. Please check that out. With regards to books, we're still on Game of Thrones. It's going to be a while, this Game of Thrones. So I've got this new parcel this week. We'll be cracking that out and seeing what that's like out in the darkness. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand you over to my beautiful assistant, which is me, because I haven't got an assistant. And we'll go through the 10 tips after 10 weeks. Fabulous. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 10 tips after 10 weeks. What have I learnt that I can give to you as a bit of knowledge and a bit of value so that you will save yourselves time and pain grief. So let's start with number 10. Loo roll, shit tickets, whatever you want to call them. Now, you don't want to get caught short at any moment in life, so in a little waterproof bag, take some toilet roll with you, just in case you need to do natural things, you know, out in nature. You know, the old saying with the bears in the woods. So that is number 10, toilet roll. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, number 9, it is to pace yourself in the first couple of miles when you are new to running, like myself, very new, very beginner, very green. So my advice to you is go slow in the beginning. Make sure that you pace yourself and don't blow yourself out like I did. So, it must be 3 or 4 videos. I'm moaning on the GoPro that I can't breathe, my legs are pounding, the chest's going. So my advice to you, just take your time. It's not about the times that you're setting, it's about enjoying yourself and getting out there and keeping motivated, not getting injured, and making sure that you enjoy yourself. Okay, so number 8 is light feet on the downhills. Very early on, yet again, some rookie mistakes. Slamming down Breedon Hill, slamming down North Hill on the Malverns, really pounding my knees, really pounding the soles of my feet, which are notorious, as you would have seen on previous videos. So light feet, like Legolas, like an elf. Look after the impact of the body and the knees, ladies and gentlemen. We need to make sure that you're not getting great stresses and impacts on the body. So light feet, like a little elf. Number 7, power hike up the hills. When we are getting into bigger distances, longer distances, we want to make sure that we're not running up the hills unless we are fit enough to do that, of course. But while we're early on, power hike up the hills. Save your legs for the level and the downhills where we can run a little faster. But save your legs when you're going up the hills. Okay, many times again I've tried to run it. I think I'm like some crazy marathon runner, and I'm probably more of a badass than I actually am, and I'm blowing out the legs again. The calves are just absolutely mooing, they're screaming at me. So just take our time, walk up the hills, unless of course you're hill training, hill sprints, then get amongst it, embrace the pain of going up the hills. So that is our power hike up the hills. This is number 6. Improve your turnover speed, your cadence, ladies and gentlemen. I did a little bit of reading of a book, Born to Run, and I checked out my cadence. I wanted to do shorter steps, less impact on the joints and the muscles. So we don't want to travel too far in the air, because that will greater increase the impact. So, shorter cadence, faster turnover, it will make you more efficient, it will make you faster, and it will give you less impact on the joints and the muscles. Number 5, consistency. Show up. If there's 3 weeks, 3 plans a week, stick to them. Skipping 1 or 2, maybe because you've run a half marathon that you shouldn't have ran, and you could skip 1 or 2 because you've done your miles for the week. That's fine. If you got a cold for 1 week and you're okay to skip that, but keep with the consistency. If you're just being too lazy, then it's just you're gonna get the momentum and the lack of motivation of not sticking to your plan, and then all of a sudden you're gonna turn up to the race, to the test, to the project unprepared. And you need to be prepared so that you don't fail and that you don't injure yourself. So, consistency, ladies and gentlemen. We're down to number 4 now, and number 4 is butter up. So, the nipples, the crotch area, the feet, the armpits, wherever may chafe, make sure that you've got whatever product is out there that suits your needs to make sure that it doesn't chafe, it doesn't burn, it doesn't bleed, because in the early days that we've experienced at the moment, I've had some chafing, and I've had a lot of chafing when we've been hiking as well in the past. So always take a tub of whatever product you're using that helps out, and just be mindful that when we start hitting 31 miles, more miles and running and hiking alike, and any sport really, we're going to chafe. It's going to burn, it's going to blister, it's going to bleed, it's going to be nasty. So make sure you butter up. Number 3. It's a simple one. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. I have found that I forget to breathe. So we're 10 weeks in, and there's been numerous times on some of the videos where I'm like, breathe in, breathe out. It's a simple process. It's like left leg, right leg, repeat. But it's amazing. You come down a hill, you're puffing, you're panting, you've got some stitch, you forget to breathe. So now what I'm doing is, if I know that there's a hill coming up, I'll get a load of air in my lungs. I'll make sure that I've got plenty of air for that hill, because I know that's gonna slam me. For that downhill, it's gonna make me out of breath and give me stitch. Make sure on the flat, when it's a bit easier, when you've composed yourself, when your legs have recovered, get the air in. Breathe, breathe, deep breaths. Through the nose, out through the mouth. Make sure that you're making that diaphragm move, and breathe well. There's lots of techniques to look out there on your breathing. Try and find some and see what works for you. But ladies and gentlemen, breathe. Number 2, leg strengthening exercises. In my past, I've suffered from runner's knee on both knees, and it causes a lot of pain, obviously. So with the comprehension of a marathon, 31-mile ultra marathon, way off in the distance, I did a little research on what was happening with the knee, and I'll put the link below to the exercises that I'm doing currently with a resistance band, 3, 4, 5 times a week, before, after a run, whenever I can fit it in. Just some nice leg strengthening exercises, and thus far, touching wood, they're helping me out great. I'm not having any issues with my knees. So that's what I've learnt from my past hikes, from failing to get coast to coast, from playing football and then other sports. My knees. Strengthen the muscles around the knees won't hurt. Finally, our last one, number 1, fuel. I hop back onto the half marathon that I did. I didn't have enough water. I had a 250ml flask, which wasn't enough. I didn't have enough food. So I didn't plan on going a half marathon. It was going to be sort of like a 6-miler, I think. But I didn't have enough food, and I didn't have enough water. So that, you know, I was in a safe environment, fairly safe environment. I knew there was exit plan B, C, so I could get home. It was okay. But you never know. If you can't get out, you break your ankle, you might not get any help, not have enough food. So now what I'm doing is I'm making sure that I've got more than enough food and more than enough water. So make sure you've got the fuel to keep you going or to keep you alive should things go south. And you never know when you're in the fells. So the last one, fuel. Okay, that was the 10 tips after 10 weeks. Hopefully I'll learn twice as much again for the next 10 weeks or the next 16 weeks or 5 months, years, and I'll report that back to you accordingly. Now, if you can let me know in the comments any tips that you've got, or your 10 tips that you swear by, let me know in the comments or on my Insta or on my Strava, and that'd be great to hear any tips that you've got that'll help me, that'll help you and the rest of our viewers. So I thought what would be a good idea would be a bonus tip. Everyone loves a freebie, and this is a 2-for-1 freebie. So with regards to recovery, I'm doing the leg exercises to help the knees. So what I'm doing is having a bath, a cold one. I'm splashing the legs with cold water. I'm having a cold shower, and that helps to recover the body, gets the oxygen to those areas faster. Now, I'm no scientist and I'm no expert in these fields, but I understand it to be beneficial for the body. Maybe I'll do a video later on with a bit more science and a little bit more education behind it. And also, I've been using Epsom salts in my warm bath to help the body recover, and thus far, loving the process. So there's my 10, 11 and 12 tips after 10 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure. I hope you're all well and safe in the world. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.